Hey guys, it's Tony. So I wanted to shoot a video, something that would tell you a little bit about myself. Um, I had somebody ask me the question the other day on one of my other videos, why are you doing this? Matter of fact, it was not on the video, but I posted my video on my Facebook page, and somebody I've known for quite a while, who's not used to seeing me in this kind of setting, said, Tony, why you're 56 years old, why are you doing this? And I thought it would be probably kind of obvious. He's a little older than I am. He's probably 60. And I said, well, um, I like to travel. By the way, I have a travel vlog. I started it out as a train vlog because I love trains and I love train travel. But then I started to say, why would I want to limit myself? So I expanded it to airplane rides, cruise ships, river boats, and just overall, travel experiences. So I said, well, a couple reasons. I want to document my travel, but I'd also like to build another income source that could kind of carry me into retirement. And so it got me thinking, why would a 56-year-old such as myself want to start a YouTube channel? So I wanted to share that because I'm sure there's others out there that are my age that are probably thinking the same thing. Now, keep in mind, for you to understand that, I think that it's only fair for me to go into my background and share a little bit about myself, be a little vulnerable. Because as you probably would know, especially black men, older black men, we don't like sharing, especially when we've had failures and we don't like being vulnerable. But I feel like I have to be in order for you to truly understand why I'm doing this. So, why am I looking for a YouTube channel to help fuel my retirement? Shouldn't that have been something that I thought about years ago or prepared for years ago? Probably. But honestly, I didn't do a very good job at it. Throughout my career, I've been what's called a serial entrepreneur. I've always been involved in different types of businesses. Yes, I've had jobs as well. If you want to say what my career has been in, it's probably been digital marketing, online advertising, software sales. But I've probably, out of my 35 years or so, 40 years of my career, I've been an entrepreneur more so than I've been an employee. I've taken on jobs early in my career to get experience so that I could then go out and start a business and or as sort of stopgaps. So I had a business that maybe was successful and I sold it and I'm trying to figure out what else I want to do, or it wasn't successful and it was a failure and I had to get a job in order to take care of myself and take care of my family. But the whole plan was to do that until I could find something else in a business that could grab my attention and be my next venture. So my life, originally from upstate New York, Syracuse area. My parents were middle class. They gave me every opportunity when it came to education. I went to public schools, but my mom was a school teacher. So there was no nonsense when it came to that. We didn't have a lot of money. We didn't travel a lot, but she made sure that I was going to be a good student. The trouble with that is that unlike my cousins, I'm an only child, by the way. Well, I grew up as an only child, come later to find out in the past year that I've got two other siblings, but that's a whole nother story for another day. But I grew up as an only child. And, my dad worked in public service. He was in community development. And my mom was a school teacher. So we didn't have the opportunity to go on a lot of lavish vacations. But we did have fun. We did do things. But what I did see my parents do is work hard. And that carried over into my entrepreneurial spirit that I had at a very young age. My first job, believe it or not, was I was a trumpet player. I started playing trumpet in 4th grade, was playing taps at a military funeral because my mom was playing organ at the funeral, and the funeral director needed somebody to come in and play taps because the National Guard, who usually did it, the guy wasn't available. So I'm like in 4th grade, 5th grade, something like that. And he asked me, he said, "Hey, can you play this song? It's pretty simple." And I said, "Yeah, that's an easy song. I can play it." So my first job, if you will, or hustle was playing taps at military funerals. They would send a limousine to my school and pick me up, take me to the cemetery. I would play taps and make $20, $30, and they'd take me back to school. I did this probably 3-4 times a month. And it was great money when you're that age, back in the 80s, late 70s, probably late 70s at that point in time, to make $60 to $100 a month. Yeah, it's pretty good. So that opened my eyes to, man, I can make more money as an entrepreneur doing my own thing than I can in a job. And that's not putting jobs down or, snubbing my nose up to people who work, because people work hard every single day for what they have. But it just opened my eyes as to some of the things that I could do as a young person. So one of the challenges that I had growing up is, and a lot of people didn't know this, I was diagnosed as an adult with ADHD. Back then, in the late 70s, early 80s, they didn't know what that was. All they knew is I couldn't pay attention. I couldn't sit still. I would daydream in class. So I was a smart kid. I could do the work, but I would never finish my homework. I would never, I wouldn't pay attention in class. I had issues like that, right? And what made it hard for me throughout school was keeping up with my peers, because I would get it at home. My parents would push me. They would make sure I was doing my homework and doing everything. But because I lived in a small town, a small city, Syracuse, and my mom was a school teacher, all the teachers knew my mom. So I had no excuse. So if I didn't do my work, I would hear about it. My mom would know before I even got home that I wasn't doing my work. It didn't even have to wait for like progress reports or report cards or anything like that. So I was really, really pushed along, but I struggled. I really, really struggled. Even when I got to high school, getting out of high school was really hard for me academically, because everyone knew me for being a star trumpet player. I was a jazz trumpet player for one of the most prestigious high school bands in the country at the time. And a lot of the teachers I was treated like an athlete almost, but that didn't help me. And when I first really became a problem for me was when I went to college. I can't remember, I think I scored, like maybe an 800 on my SATs, and I applied to one college out of high school, and that was Morehouse. And what I didn't mention, and there's another video that kind of talks about my family and education and everything, is that my uncle was kind of a rock star graduate of Morehouse College and had done some really great things at Harvard University on the national stage. And I probably shouldn't have gotten into Morehouse with the grades that I had. And miraculously, somehow I did. I can't say that someone pulled strings. I don't know. All I know is that I got accepted when I probably shouldn't have. And I'm saying all this to tell you that, I had lots of opportunities growing up, and I was exposed to a lot of things. But it was really, really difficult for me as a young person at that age, knowing that I had this challenge, this ADHD challenge, this focus issue, that I really wouldn't know how to resolve until I was an adult. So fast forward, it took me 8 years to finish college. I did finish college, but it took me a very long time. My parents spent a lot of money on trying to get me through school, and all, to figure out that, working for someone or having a job really isn't for me. So I've had businesses in Atlanta and Syracuse and in Dallas, some of them very successful, some of them not so much. I've had more failures than I've had successes. But what I can tell you is that I'm driven. And throughout my career, getting to where I was in my late 40s and early 50s, I knew that I needed something different. I wanted to do something a little differently on the tail end of my life. So that's what kind of dovetails this story to why I'm building this YouTube channel. I remarried. I got divorced when I was 40 and remarried at 40. And my wife is 11 years younger. I knew she didn't have any kids at the time. She was 29 when we met. I was 40. And she said, I'd like to have at least one child. And I said, okay, well, let me think about that, because at my age, having children going into my 40s means that when they get to high school age, I'm going to be well into my retirement years. And what's that going to look like? But I love her, and I loved her very much, and I was willing to do whatever it took to, bring children into her life. So we went down the IVF path because, again, I was at the age where it was difficult for us to conceive naturally. And we had 2 beautiful young children. I've got 5 kids altogether. 3 are older, they're adults now. 27, 25, and 23. But I've got 8-year-old twin boys that are just the loves of my life. They're our heartbeats. And being a parent at that age, I'm 56 now, being a parent of 8-year-olds at 56, where all of their friends' parents are in their 30s, early 40s, is different. All of my friends that I grew up with, they're, empty nesters. They're out on vacations. They're traveling the world. They're doing fun things that I can't necessarily do with young children in the home. But I said, I've got to be able to do things a little differently. I can't be the same parent I was when I was 35. There are some things that I can do where I can kind of create a hybrid situation where, we can travel together as a family, give them the experiences that I didn't have as a young person. In fact, experiences that I wasn't able to give to my older kids. But we can live sort of a hybrid retirement / parent life. So that's part of the reason why I started this YouTube channel, is to allow us to be able to travel more, experience more. We want to travel internationally. We want to live internationally. That's something that we're planning for here soon, within the next couple of years at least. And I want my twins to really be able to know what it's like to live on a global scale, live in different countries, live in different environments, learn and speak different languages. Because these are opportunities and experiences that I didn't have as a young person, my wife didn't have as a young person, and again, that my older kids didn't have, that I'm encouraging now that they, get passports and go out and experience the world. So I wanted to share that with you. Again, when people ask, why are you doing this? It's because I want to make a difference in my life. I want to make a difference in my kids' lives, and I want to make a difference for others and show others that are my age that, hey, it can be done. You can live a wonderful life in your 50s and in your 60s. So I appreciate you listening. I encourage you to, subscribe to my channel if you'd like to follow me and my family and see some of the things that we do and experience some of those things with us. So thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Catch you on the next one.